My backstory. A brief history of my life. Part 1. AJ Ferreira. My name is AJ Ferreira, and this is my backstory, summarized. Beginning at the age of 4 years old, my older brother, who was misdiagnosed and improperly medicated at the time, was physically abusive towards me and my younger sister, and would often lash out in anger. The earliest memory I have, at 4 years old, is being stabbed in the head by my brother. I still bear that scar on my head. My brother had been misdiagnosed and was given the incorrect medication by Dr. Ronald Davidoff of CHR. My brother spent a period of time in and out of juvenile detention during my earlier childhood, and was later properly diagnosed and was given correct medications and treatment. Being so young, I did not understand what was happening. All I knew was that my brother was angry and was getting in trouble, and had to be removed from the house to get better. This resulted in a more dissociative childhood, where I preferred to be within my own company and didn't keep many friends. I mainly relied upon my own imagination for entertainment and for a protective shield against the harshness of the traumatic experiences at such a young age, which later in life turned into suppression of traumatic experiences and emotions. At the age of 10, I lost my first grandparent, my grandmother on my dad's side, and for the first time in my life was introduced to the concept of death and grief. Also, the very next year, I lost my grandfather on my mom's side, my second grandparent gone. Simultaneously, I began developing depression and anxiety, and feelings of disassociation from sense of self and social environments, and also began to feel negatively about myself, often with self-injurious behaviors, following extremely difficult and heavy emotions that I could not understand at the time. Even though I was so young, I began developing a totally negative self-image, one that stemmed self-hatred and self-mutilation. I began cutting and burning myself, and over time was drawn to it, even though it was destructive. I was bullied in middle school, often, and by many different classmates in school, even across different classes and grades. This fueled more self-injurious behaviors, although I did stand up for myself often, and even won fights and defeated my bullies on several occasions. Despite standing up for myself, however, I still carried a negative self-image because I believed the terrible things that I was being fed by the bullies. Also, during this time, I began isolating more at home and would often stay in my room for long periods of time. I did have some friends, but none of the friendships were extremely close, and they did not last past middle school, especially seeing how I went to a different high school completely. During my youth and teenage years, I was involved in Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts, and at the age of 18, I received my Eagle Scout honor, the highest rank in the Boy Scouts. I was a leader within my troop, and I very much enjoyed teaching my fellow scouts. We went on many camping trips and excursions, and I still, to this day, love the outdoors, and still find hiking a highly enjoyable hobby. Being out within nature is one of my favorite things, and has helped immensely as a coping mechanism for my depression and anxiety. I still value everything that I learned in scouting, and attaining the rank of Eagle Scout is still one of my proudest achievements. When I was in 8th grade, one of my friends passed away. This was the first experience that I had with losing one of my peers. Henry was 2 years older than me, and I had seen him the day before he passed away. He and I were in the same youth group and Bible study. He was riding his bicycle home one night in October of 2010 and was struck and killed by a drunk, off-duty police officer. The incident was felt deeply in my whole town, and this hit me hard. I understood back then that life can be cut short for any of us at any point in time. Continue with part 2 for the rest of the story. AJ Ferreira.